Revenge films.
One day, my girlfriend and I attended a wedding for my cousin. We'd been together since we were in school, and our parents were both very friendly with my cousin. Hey, how should we go? Should we go by plane?
I'm a bit reluctant to use the plane. I'd rather go by train or by bus.
We could use the Shinkansen, but that's a bit expensive. Or we could use the Red-Eye Express bus, which is inexpensive but takes time.
The express sounds like a good option. We could sleep and probably get there in no time. I'd love to do some sightseeing while we're there, so we could save a bit of money by taking the express.
Okay then, let's do it. With that, we got on the Red-Eye Express and headed to our cousin's wedding ceremony. We got on the bus at the last stop, so most of the seats were already taken. As soon as we got on, the interior lights went out. After a while, my girlfriend, who was sitting next to me, said in a hushed tone,
Ouch. Ow.
The interior of the bus was pitch black, but she sounded so distressed that I turned to ask her what was wrong.
The front seat is hitting against my knee.
I reached down toward the darkened area where her knee hit the seat. It seemed the seat in front of me reclined to its furthest point. I was about to ask the guy sitting in front of me to move the seat up a bit, but the seat in front of me suddenly reclined and hit my leg, causing pain. Ow! Excuse me, could you move your seat up a bit? Because it's a Red-Eye Express, the passengers around us were fast asleep. So as not to disturb the other passengers, I tried to ask the person in front in a hushed tone, but I got no response from them. I tried several times after that, but the people in front continued to ignore me. But we eventually came to a scheduled rest stop at a service area. The guys up front rose without fixing their reclined seats and headed towards the restrooms. I looked out and checked these guys out. The two cheeky-looking guys were dressed kind of flashy, with dyed hair. My girlfriend and I were stuck in our seats because of the fully reclined seats. I called out to the driver in a loud voice, "Excuse me, driver! Could you get over here?" The bus driver came over immediately. I explained the situation to the driver, and he quickly returned the seats to their upright positions. I looked down at her knees, and they were red and chafed. After a while, the two guys came back to the bus, jabbering about something. The bus driver confronted the two young men as they returned to their seats. "Please recline your seats so that you don't inconvenience the person behind you." We're paying customers. We can recline our seats however we like. When there are other passengers behind you, we ask that you be a bit more considerate.
Then why the hell does the seat recline in the first place? I mean, that's the purpose, right?
As I said, when there are passengers behind you, we ask that you refrain from reclining the seat fully. When no passenger is present, you're free to do as you please. What? Why do we have to worry about other passengers? You jackass! I can certainly understand that passengers would want to recline their seats. After all, it is the Red-Eye Express. But I was irritated by these guys, who didn't give a crap about reclining the seats, causing discomfort, and not even giving a second thought to the concerns of others. But our seats were already decided, and there was nothing we could do. I lowered my head politely and said, "Excuse me, but would you please just raise it a bit? Please? I'm asking you nicely." The two young guys just let out an exasperated sigh and simply sat down. I figured that the driver had clearly warned them, so I believed the situation had been resolved. As we got underway, the interior of the bus went dark again. When the bus's engine started up, and I finally thought I could get some sleep, pain suddenly shot up my leg, even worse than before. What the hell? Freaking hurts like hell! I looked down to see that the guy in front had reclined his seat to the fullest, jamming it against my knee. On top of that, he was standing there, pressing the seat hard, forcibly reclining it even further. I aggressively forced the seat back because of the pain. When I looked over at my girlfriend, the same thing was happening to her.
Ow! Please, someone. Please help.
Upon hearing this distressing cry, the bus driver immediately turned on the lights. The other passengers also woke with a start, and there was a sudden concern in the air. We asked the driver to have our seats changed, but the driver said there were no other seats available. In addition, the driver offered us a small jump seat as an alternative. Would this be a better option? My girlfriend and I were dumbfounded by the driver's response. Why the hell would you offer us the extra jump seat? Why not make the two jerks sit in them? No matter how you look at it, those two are in the wrong. When the two young kids heard what the driver had said, they said, "Awesome! Now we can recline our seats as much as we want. Great!"
I know. Boy, these people are super annoying, for sure.
On top of that, they said,
Bro, I can't believe you got the balls to always do this.
"Yeah, well, we don't do this. How can we get enough sleep?" With that, they snickered and laughed as if they had somehow won an argument. The driver looked a bit apprehensive upon hearing their comments. He had no response to their inconsiderate comments, maybe because he thought it was too much trouble to take it any further. Why do we have to sleep in these extra seats? We're the victims here! Those two are the culprits! We tried pressing our concerns, but the driver turned to us and explained that we were the ones that made the reservation, and that if we were not happy with the seats, we would have to be the ones to switch to the extra seats. I immediately told him that it was not fair. He gave us two choices. Either we get off the bus, or simply just accept this seating arrangement. I felt the driver had suddenly turned his back on us, and to make matters worse, the two jerks sat there snickering at our predicament. I just could not accept the situation, and I certainly couldn't let my girlfriend simply continue to endure it either. But we couldn't just simply get off the bus. Right when I thought I may as well throw in the towel and just sit in the tiny jump seat, the young guys in front of us yelped, "Ow! What the hell do you think you're doing?" When I looked over at the guy, I could see that the passenger in front of him had reclined his seat to its full extent, hitting the young guy in the knee. "Hey, jerk! Lift the seat up, would ya?" A physically imposing guy stood and turned toward him and said in a low voice, "I thought it was free to recline my seat as much as I want. You got a problem with that, buddy?" The two young guys looked pretty flustered. To be honest, I was a bit shaken too. The guy looked over at my girlfriend and asked, "Could you switch seats with me? I prefer the back seat myself." My girlfriend looked at him in surprise.
What? Really? You don't mind?
"I'm the one asking you for the favor. I hope you'll forgive me for my rudeness. And you too, bud." There was another guy sitting next to the man, and he also stood up abruptly. And without saying a word, they offered us their seats. "Oh yeah, and you can leave the seat as is. It seems you can recline the seat however far back you please." With that, they changed seats with us. We promptly accepted their offer and sat in the newly acquired seats. But I could not ignore the two who were so kind. From the back, I could hear, "How am I supposed to sit here with the seat reclined so far back?" The man's reprimand seemed to work wonders as the two punks replied,
Sorry, sir, right away.
and immediately returned the seat to its upright position. The two guys looked really uncomfortable with our seats reclined way back. All I could hear was a muffled sound behind us. "Ow!" Then, from behind, the young guy asked hesitantly in a low murmur,
Could you raise your seat back up a bit?
The older guy sitting in the back heard the whole thing. "What the hell are you saying? The driver just said earlier you've got two options. Either you sit in the jump seat, or you get off the bus."
Sorry, sir, this seat's just fine. I love it.
With that, the lights went out, and everyone, well, almost everyone, finally got to rest. We finally arrived at our destination the next morning. Maybe it was because of the uncomfortable seating position, but the two young guys got off the bus looking weary from the lack of sleep, and their bodies stiff as a board. We also got off the bus, and turned to thank the older man for his kindness. "Thanks for all your help, sir." "No need to apologize. Anyway, are your girlfriend's knees okay? I mean, she was crying, wasn't she?" "Yes, sir."
Thanks so much. And I was able to sleep quite well thanks to you.
"I'm glad to hear that." At that moment, the driver walked by. That's when the older man confronted him. "Hey you, bus driver! Have you ever heard of being flexible when the circumstances require it? How could you back down from those two punks and treat these two decent folks with such disdain? Do your damn job!" The driver looked very pale and pretty shaken. "I'm so sorry for that." "Okay, you guys have a good trip." "Yes, sir. Thanks." The older man was greeted by an assistant of some sort, and got into a big black car and drove away. Not sure if he was a company president or something, or maybe a scary dude. I'm not sure. But he definitely helped us in a difficult situation, that's for sure. We almost had to attend the wedding feeling blue, but thanks to that guy, we were able to attend the wedding with joy in our hearts.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.